and welcome to today's episode of LinkedIn with Louise. And if you are listening in real time, it is 2 days until Christmas Day. My goodness. I don't know what's going on where you live, but we should be entering our Christmas family bubble for a few days. And then I think we're heading into a full lockdown here in Northern Ireland. Let's see what happens. Seems to change. Things change literally on the week. So I thought that it would be fun, or interesting anyway, to go through a few of my LinkedIn personal profile statistics for 2020 and my thoughts around that. It's kind of interesting, actually. So I use a website called Shield app.ai, and it's like £5 a month or something, and it dives into your analytics for LinkedIn. So I thought it'd be interesting to share with you what's worked, what's increased, what's decreased, interestingly, this year, and kind of basically a state of the nation for my LinkedIn account. Maybe you're not interested, maybe you are, who knows. All right. So as it stands, I have approximately 5,390 people that I'm connected to on LinkedIn. If I look at the numbers from the start of the year, I had approximately, I know exactly how many I had, 3,492 people following me on LinkedIn. So it's gone up by 53% this year, which is great. I know that there are ways to blow that out of the park and have 10x number of people follow you. But, if you're a long-time listener, you know that I am much more about building relationships, building an authentic network on LinkedIn. Now, I understand that over 5,000 followers is a lot of people, but it's a slow build up. And as I connect with people, we have one-to-one messages, and that makes them much more likely to engage with my content and vice versa, because I actually know who they are. I'm not saying I know all of my connections, obviously, but when people tend to comment on my stuff, I pretty much know where they came from. So there's the whole financial services crowd that I know through my good friend Alex Curtis. If somebody is in the financial services in England, connected and commenting on my stuff, it's quite likely they've come through Alex. Likewise, all the people that I know in the US, the women that I've met at conferences, especially the Biz Chicks conference, I know who they are when they comment as well. My Small Business Saturday community, I know who they are too. So I like that. I like seeing people comment, and I like knowing where they've come from and being able to work out where they've come from as well. So let's start with the negatives first. My views dropped by 4% this year. So last year I had 2,700 views, and this year I had 262,000 views on my account. So that's interesting, isn't it? Wonder why that is. I need to dig into that a little bit more. The number of people who liked my content dropped by 19%. I would much rather have comments than likes anyway. So while that is an interesting metric, I'm all about the engagement and the comments, and people will tend to actually converse with me rather than just clicking like. So that leads me to my next statistic. And my comments have gone up by 44%. So that's great. That's what I want. That's what I want from my LinkedIn account. I want people engaging and commenting. If you listen to me, you'll know, or if you've worked with me, you'll know that when you comment under my post or anybody else's post, people are going to see your name and your headline. And you're going to write your headline in a way that piques somebody's curiosity, so they go off to your profile to find out what it is that you do. Nobody's going to find you through that method if you're not commenting. So I'd love to hear you say that you've raised your commenting by 44% this year. That would be awesome. If not this year, then next year. The number of people who shared my content has gone up by a whopping 606%. That is, I like that a lot. That means I'm putting content out there that people feel is worth sharing. And that makes me very happy. I definitely have gone down the road of creating more like mini trainings this year, especially the little videos that I'm doing on how to figure out stuff on your profile, like 2 to 3 minute long videos, which I then repurpose and share on my YouTube channel. If you don't know I have a YouTube channel, yes, I do. It's youtube.com/social BEENI, or just type in Louise Brogan on YouTube and it'll pop up. So I love that 606% increase in sharing my content on LinkedIn. That makes me very happy. Okie dokes. The engagement rate has dropped very slightly by 2%. I would say if we had a mathematician listening, if you are a mathematician listening, maybe you can you can do this. But if you increase your followers by 53%, and we know that only 10% of the network either comment, engage, or post content, then it makes sense that if you increase your followers by 53%, you're going to get a lot more people following you who don't engage, or maybe it is just percentages, I don't know. So the engagement rate dropped from 2.47% to 2.42%. Come and engage on my content. Let's get that number up. All right. Number of posts this year went up by 48%. Because I've been much more consistent and much more strategic in my posting. So I tend to post at least four weekdays a week. I occasionally post at the weekend. I know if I post at the weekend, the engagement rate, the comments, the likes will increase. But we have a family. I don't want to be online working at the weekends. So it's my choice to do that. It's my choice not to reach out and connect with 100 people a day. So there's looking at metrics from a mathematical point of view, and then there's bringing in the human element, which, some mathematicians would say they can predict that. But the human element for me is that I don't devote my life to raising these numbers. I love my job, obviously, but I also like my life away from work too. Okay, what other numbers do I have for you? So this year I had 265,693 views, and I had 4,581 likes of my content, 3,896 comments, 123 shares. So this is weird because the total statistics, the engagement rate and the total statistics on Sheila say they're actually 3.24%, and it's gone up 6%. So that's confusing me a little bit. But generally, I think it's all really quite positive. The most popular posts that I had this year, would you be interested in that? I am interested in that, so I'm going to share them with you anyway. Okay. So I'm going to go and rate these by the most, let's go by the ones with the most comments. Okay. This is going to be the one with the most comments. So at 11:17 a.m. on a Wednesday, I tend to recommend to my clients posting on Tuesdays or Wednesdays around mid-morning, and you are going to have a more successful rate of engagement or interest in your content. It just seems to work out that way. So my most popular post was a poll, of course. I mean, I love the polls. I think you might know that by now. And it was on Wednesday, 29th of January, and I had 9,143 people viewed it, and I had 195 comments on that poll. Guess what it was about? Are you still sending connection requests without a note on LinkedIn? I really hope the people who participated in that poll changed their minds a little bit. There's people who have very particular viewpoints on that, including myself. I want you to send me a message to say why you're connecting with me. Other people say, don't bother, just fire out all the connection requests and build your network. Look, people teach things in different ways. I teach LinkedIn as a relationship building, social selling platform to help you grow a genuinely authentic network of people who you're interested in, they're interested in you. It helps you build your business. That's my MO. Okay. So that was the most popular post. And the second one after that was a text only post. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, my 6 top posts of the year, 3 of them were polls and 3 of them were text only. So the second one, the engagement, the comments, with 77 comments on the next one. And it is talking about headlines on LinkedIn, and just saying, did you write your own headline? So that, again, it's a great conversation piece. And that was posted on a Thursday morning at 11:15. Okay. The next one was, when was the last time you updated your headline? And that had 75 comments. So you kind of get the idea, right? So the ones with the most views are not the same. They're not the same numbers. So the numbers, most views is still, are you still sending connection requests without a note? It's the most viewed, the most commented on post that I have on LinkedIn this year. But the next one down was, it's really interesting, in the year of 2020 and the pandemic, it was my last in-person event. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to do this again. So this was my LinkedIn business breakfast in Belfast, and it was it was 10 months ago. So it was the end of February, and it was really lovely. And we had about 10 people came along in person, got coffee. I bought everybody scones, and we just sat around and talked about how to use LinkedIn for business. I cannot wait to do that again in 2021. I would aim for doing that around April, May time. So can't wait for that. But that had 5,700 views. The next one down was in January, and it was viewed by 4,710 people. And that was about cross-posting on social media platforms and why I think you shouldn't do that. So those are the top 3 posts for me this year. You'll notice that they are all to do with what I talk about, which is LinkedIn. They are all to do with starting conversations with my network. And if I even glance down, literally my top 10 posts of the year, they're all conversations. So I actually tell you, they start with, your input required, and when was the last time you? So you can see those are conversation starting posts. So I thought you might be quite interested in that. I think that is interesting. So that's the statistics for 2020 so far. I mean, obviously 2020 is not over. It's not far, not much left to go. But what I have really enjoyed this year on LinkedIn is the conversations I've been having with my network. It's the conversations inside the messaging inbox. People introducing me to people. That's happened quite a lot this year, which has been lovely. But also, if I look even at today, I've had conversations with 7 people, and it's only early afternoon. So the conversations and the lead to sales opportunities and the leads to people asking how you can help them happen inside the messaging inbox, but not in the way that you are probably fed up receiving them, not in the way that, a very nice person connected with me. She is at a level of her business where I know she's not got resources to invest in training with me at this point in stage. But I do feel like I want to support people who are coming up, and they've left university and they're really just starting out. And I want to support those people. So if they send me a question now and again, I don't mind answering it, obviously. But this person then sent me a blog